guys, it's Brandy again from Healing Be Done. Gonna do another collective. I'm wearing the same clothes, but for another video. But I might as well do two while I'm sitting here waiting for my daughter to be in school. Hope everybody's doing well. Oh, I just saw the tower disruption. It's going to be something that's unexpected, or there's a foundation that's been built that's not it's not built sturdily. Is that a word? I'll Google it after. All right, Spirit. What do we want to talk about? My window's open. It's starting to rain a little bit, but I don't know how long this is going to be. Oh, there. Power. This is the Strength card. Power. But what I really love about this, like this is my first deck I've ever owned. But what I love about this is that it's got the lion and it's got the older man. And for me, that represents like wisdom and strength. So it's like everything that you've went through in this life, like everything that you've experienced up till this moment has helped you build the wisdom and the strength to be a pillar in either the family, the society, or the groups that you're part of. So it's almost like, if nothing else, you have this, and none of this could be learned from a book. So I don't know why that's relevant. And right, 3 of Cups on the bottom. So it definitely has to do with groups or other people. So it's almost like I'm getting the feeling that people may come to you for advice. They might come to you for support. Like that. We'll get one more, just because the other one had 3. There. And then we got the Ace of Swords, right? Triumph. I'm shaky. I haven't eaten yet today. Triumphant success. So it's almost like everything that you've went through, you've overcome. Like forgetting the Ace of Swords, I'm getting the impression that like you've went through a lot of trials, tribulations, challenges in your life, and it may have to do with other people. Like a lot of your challenges were connected to other people, so through relationships, right? But you've overcame them, right? And you want to know what I'm getting? I'm getting the fact that like this hand that's coming up from out of the ground, all these trials and tribulations and experiences that you've had has helped you unearth your innate wisdom and your innate strength. That's interesting. I love that. So that's definitely, Spirit obviously wants you to recognize and maybe give yourself credit for everything that you went through and experienced and overcame. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like you might not be where you want to be right, like you might not be where you want to be, but you're on your way there. Again, the Tower and the 4 of Wands. So there may have something to do with your foundation. So there may have been a sudden change. Something may have came up in your home. What's this? Yeah. Yeah, it definitely has something to do with your home. Heartbreak, too. Maybe you have to move. I just saw the Chariot. Yeah, you may have to move. Or you may have decided to move from a home you didn't want to leave. Somebody could have passed on. I'm sorry. My condolences. If somebody passed on and you're having to sell your family home, or you're unable to keep it, or there might be something to do with that. The Magician. It's Mercury energy, communication. The Magician has all the tools, and it's the number 1 in the tarot. Ooh, okay. Yeah, there may be an authority figure, male authority figure, father, maybe a male. That's very sorry. He might be, how do I describe it? This person might be more logical in the way that he communicates or processes or manifests in his life. But I'm getting the feeling that like there might have been some communication that caused a tower, that caused a breakdown in communication, with it being swords and Mercury. So like, I'm getting the impression that like there may have been some not harsh but brash or very direct communication that may have caused this disruption, and then there was a decision that had to be made based on the communication that was given. Five of Wands on the bottom. So yeah, that talks about like challenges. Like you're gonna be like even your Mars, right? Your anger, you might have been triggered into anger. Somebody might have been triggered into anger through that communication. This person, this King of Swords, Aquarius energy, he might not be wrong. I'm not saying he's right for saying it the way he did. Like there may not have been compassion or consideration in the way that he communicated, but it may have been a truth that was communicated too. Or the other thing I'm getting to is it may have been a truth that no one wanted to acknowledge. And this person spoke up, it could have been you, spoke up and said, this ain't working. I don't know why you guys are sweeping this under the rug and not acknowledging that this is gonna crumble. At some point, something's gonna come falling down. So I'm bringing this to your attention, but everybody doesn't want to acknowledge it, and they want to avoid dealing with it. So he looks like the bad guy. It might be you. This person might look like the bad guy for being the only one willing to speak up, but that's what I'm getting. It's almost like this time with the Two of Swords, I'm getting the impression that like no one wants to make the decision. So it's almost like this person had to make the decision because it was the logical thing to do. Like, and a lot of the times, and I'm not trying to dog anybody, but a lot of the time people allow their emotions to interfere with making logical decisions. If it's something emotional, it's emotional. But if there's a logical, it's like, yes, I have to pay this bill. You can't allow your emotions, well, like I want to buy them a present because it'll make them feel good. You got to pay your rent. That's a logical decision to make, right? Like you got to pay your mortgage. So I'm not dogging emotion. Emotions are relevant and they are a guidance system, but at the same time, you shouldn't allow them to interfere or cloud your judgment on making a logical decision. Okay? I hope this isn't rubbing anybody the wrong way. Like I live my life this way too. Like I have to sit with, if somebody says something to me, sometimes it takes me a little bit, but sometimes I have to sit with it and be like, why do I feel hurt or emotional about this? It could be the truth, and that's why it hurts so much, because I was avoiding not wanting to look at that and be like, okay, yeah, like, again, but this is what I mean. So, like, I could be sad or hurt or angry, but when I look at it, I'm like, fuck, like, they were right. Like, that is, yes, he was right. I was allowing my emotions to just bypass. I was bypassing, and that's not how you heal things. That's not how you deal with the wounds and let it come to the surface, and then that will allow you to be more free, especially energetically. Because the best way I describe this, death card, so there might be an ending to something too, but at the same time, like with it being on the bottom of the deck with this Knight of Swords, it's almost like the ending was coming irregardless, so it doesn't matter, like it's coming in fast, right? Even if we do it this way, I guess. Like this ending's coming, whether you wanted it to or not, or something needed to be said because the tower's falling. So if somebody's rushing in being like, okay, this ending's coming, like we can prepare for it now and make the right decisions or take actions that need to be taken, or we can let it crumble and then we're all scrambling with our heads cut off because we don't know, because we're caught off guard. Somebody peeked, somebody had a premonition or peeked or saw something that came out with it, right? Ten of Cups. It could do with family. It definitely feels like it's family. Family home, family foundation. It could be, I'm seeing children. I don't want to say custody of children, but it could have to do with that. Needs not being met. Then the Nine of Swords. So yeah, it's almost like whatever you've built, whatever was built for stability and emotional contentment, it's like there's something that's coming up, and you're losing sleep about it. It's stressing you out. You might be pouring into the wrong stuff, focusing on the wrong things. Let's just get more. I'm getting all caught up on that. Sorry. What else is going on? Or maybe there's a lesson. Ooh, okay, Lovers. This could include a relationship as well. With the Ten of Cups, Four of Wands, and the Lovers. And the Four of Swords, yeah. You guys might have retreated to opposite corners. Somebody, I'm not seeing Pentacles, so it's not to do with work. It definitely has to do with family. Maybe somebody's family member is sick, and somebody wants to move closer to help take care of them. And then they don't know how they're going to do it. They're going to have to switch jobs, change careers to make that work. Or somebody feels settled and content where they are, and they don't want to, they aren't sure of what they want to do. I don't know why I took this one. But either way, this change that's coming is actually going to unearth some new wisdom and strength and new life experience. Like maybe a leadership role too. Like with it being the Strength card, on the traditional tarot, there's a lady like with her hand, I can't remember if it's in the lion's mouth or underneath the lion's mouth, but at the same time, like there's like an ego aspect to this that like maybe it's allowing the ego to guide you instead of following your heart or doing something that might be right in this moment. Because life, everything changes, everything's permanent, nothing's forever, and that's why we can't really be attached to where we are all the time. Sometimes we're guided to go in a different direction because there's someone else or something else that needs to be taken care of or guided or led. So you are I feel you're being guided to go and do go towards something else because, like I said, it may have to do with a family member that's maybe feeling ill or in the later stages of closer to passing. But it has to do with that. So I believe, and maybe a change in your home or moving. I haven't seen the Chariot card, so I can't say that it's actually moving, but I mean, it could be the happiness that you never really anticipated it to be, right? Sometimes you find contentment and happiness, not even contentment, that's lame. You find happiness somewhere else. Three of Cups, yeah. And there's new people you have to meet. Yeah, with the Knight of Pentacles on the bottom, right? It's just like, there'll be, there's a plan, because this is like planning and working with your spirit team. So it's like whatever you gained at a grounded understanding through, reading, researching, observing, whatever it may be, you're taking that grounded understanding and now you're starting to apply it in real life. So you could apply this to new people that you meet. So you might be here, you might start a new job, and there's spiritually you're guided to help these people gain wisdom from you, or you could teach them how to get to their fullest potential. You know what I mean? Not being afraid of change. 8 of Cups. Yeah, it's like you've built this, you've invested in this emotionally, but it's almost like there's nothing left here. I'm not emotionally content with this. I need to move on to something new. And then you get the 6 of Wands. The 6 of Wands talks about victory, success, recognition from a community. So it's almost like until you walk away or you move to the new thing, you might get recognized. If you're living in your hometown, sometimes people don't reach their fame or wealth unless they live outside of their town of birth. Even in astrology, it talks about that. So maybe moving away might be, I think it's Dharma. You'll be able to get recognized for your gifts, your abilities, your talents, your skills, right? And then Chariot. Oh, there's the Chariot. I was just talking about that. So it's almost like your victory comes when you move. And I don't know. Let's see that. Aries. Okay, so there. Okay, there's the Emperor. Oh, I just pulled it out with the Star card. Yeah, so there's the Emperor card. That's Aries energy, and this is Aquarius. So it's almost like a new type of leadership is needed. That's 11th house. That's network circles. So there could be somewhere that you're needed. Your leadership skills and abilities are needed, and that was gained from all of your experience, your wisdom, and your strength from everything that you went through. So it's like the universe is calling you to possibly go in a different direction. If you're open to that, I mean, you have to plan for it. It's like seeing the Knight of Pentacles. You have to make a plan. You can't just, like a gypsy, run off and quit your job, sell your house, buy a fucking trailer. Well, you could. It's your life. You can do whatever you want. But it's it does require planning. With the Knight of Pentacles, it requires some planning. or you've been planning and you're just starting to put things into action, right? Because the Page of Pentacles is still like trying to figure out and make a plan or try and think of the better way of doing it. It's the young, and then this is like the teenager, the younger man in the tarot. So like he's like, okay, I've got the understanding, now I have to put in a plan, take action. So like there's action with the Knights. Eight of Pentacles, it has to do with work. Okay, so then with the Three of Wands, it talks about having faith that your ships are going to come in, like knowing that like what you're putting this energy and time into, like again, Wands, energy, what you're putting the energy into, you're gonna see the return on that, right? That's good. I see a Three of Swords here. So yeah, there could be a heart, I want to say a heart condition. Somebody could have had stents put in, heart stents. I don't know what that has to do with, but maybe the stress is causing some sort of heart condition or contributing to some sort of heart related things. Ace of Cups, yeah, it's talking. Okay, on the bottom of the deck, the Six of Swords. So it's just like you're moving from rough waters, choppy waters. It'll calm down. Like things will calm down. It'll seem crazy when you first start going through the processes, but it will bring you full fulfillment. Okay, but you got to plan. You got to plan to get to that Knight of Cups, or you got to plan with the Knight of Pentacles to get to the Ace of Cups. And with the strength and the feeling of wisdom from that, like you have the know-how, you're very intelligent, you have the ability to navigate that kind of stuff. Okay, so Seven Wands can talk about multiple things, but it can be like protection. So if this is meant for you, like this path is protected and it's guided, but it also could be defending something. So it's almost like once you do it, like you're defending or fighting for your happiness. He's starting a business. I'm seeing the Justice Libra on the bottom. Or don't be afraid of being happy. Ace of Wands, you're definitely starting something new with the Six of Pentacles. Yeah. You'll be given, there'll be someone that'll pour into you, that'll help you start something, get something started. Interesting. Lots of communication. I'm seeing the Eight of Wands on the bottom. There'll be a lot of communication back and forth, give and take to get this thing started, but it's definitely possible. I almost should bring this to an end. I don't know what. Five of Wands, yeah. You'll definitely be challenged. This is something that you have not experienced, you have not went through. This is new to you. So expect the challenge. Don't give up. Like, there may be roadblocks, redirections, detours. So go with it. Don't be so quick to give up because you're being challenged when you're doing this new thing. There's always going to be a challenge, trial, tribulations, right? It's like what works, what doesn't. So you have to expect that. Don't get discouraged. Just take a second, take a beat, take a moment, and think about, okay, if this is a roadblock, if this is blocking me right now, what other options do I have? Is there anybody else I have access to that can maybe see a perspective I'm not seeing, or see an option that I'm not seeing right now? Okay? But be open. The whole point is to be open and not give up because you're being challenged in something. But that's why you want new things, so that you can be challenged. Mental stimulation, it's needed. I've learned that the hard way. Like, I thought I could settle and be content with certain things. I need mental stimulation in my life. Went to school multiple times, and here I am doing tarot. It's like just learning about tarot, astrology, numerology, psychology. It's interesting to me. I never want to stop learning. Page of Wands, there you go. That flame in you, that light and that fire in you is gonna be ignited. You're gonna get so excited. And then once you overcome those hurdles, you get excited. You get more excited because you're getting closer and closer to your goal. I'll do one more and then we'll pull advice card. I'm excited for you. So things might change due to life circumstances. So just be open and aware and take the time to process things. And if changes need to be made, and maybe don't worry about so much. If there is a tower, it wasn't built on a sturdy foundation. and you can rebuild. I tell this to my kids all the time. They'll build a castle and their sibling will come over and knock it over. And they broke my thing I built. I'm like, it's okay. You can rebuild it again and build it better this time, right? And then this is the Hierophant. It's almost like the feeling that I'm getting from this. It's almost like it ignites, or it might. What's the word I'm trying to think of? It might resurrect, or bring to your awareness that there might be beliefs that you're carrying in your life that weren't yours. So it's almost like you grew up and your parents told you that you have to work hard or you have to go to school. All these beliefs that somebody drew on if your beliefs and everything that you have, morals, somebody's drawing on your dry erase board. And when you're a child, you don't know. They're just drawing in this. So you're programmed to believe that, and that's like, well, that's my beliefs. That's how I was raised. It might not be your belief. So there might be something that's ignited in you to start evaluating belief systems or morals or any values. You might realize that you don't value the same thing as your family or your spouse or whoever. And that's what I mean. Like, spiritually, we're being called to constantly review these things because are they outdated? Right? There's a lot of things that were beliefs back in the day and they're no longer relevant anymore, or they're not imperative to life, or it's not equality either, right? There's things that weren't fair and that was a belief back then. It's no longer serving, so we need to drop that. And then with the Ten of Swords, it definitely talks about like bringing an end to beliefs that maybe that weren't yours, or even commitments. There might be commitments that you've had to things, like you might be part of a club and nobody wants to take the president role. Well, that's not your problem. You've already been in this position. Like, it's somebody else's turn. So, like, you may revoke the energy and commitment that you've put into something because it's not serving you anymore. It's not bringing you joy, right? Yeah. There's another path. 2 of Wands. There's a new path for you to take. There's something down the road for you that you don't even know is there. But the tower has to fall. The change has to happen. See, rebirth is on the bottom too. This is the advice. Spirit, what's the advice? So whatever your focus, just got focused with the crystals.